Shabbat Shalom, everyone. It is my pleasure to welcome you to Temple Emeth and to our Shabbat Evening Service. It is the first Friday of the month. It's also the first Friday of the year. And so we are having our monthly Shabbat family service here at Temple Emeth, and it is my pleasure to welcome you. If you're joining us on live stream, I want to say Bruchim Haba'im to you. Welcome to our service. If you have a copy of Mishkan Tefillah for youth at home, that is the siddur that we use at a family service, then I hope you'll bring it to your screen or your device so that you can follow along with each and every prayer and song and page number in our service this evening. And similarly, I want to say welcome to you who are here in the Rabbi Louis J. Siegel Sanctuary. It is my pleasure to welcome you, and if you don't have a siddur yet, it looks like this. It's not the one we keep right there in the seats. We keep it on a little table right outside, but Moradora, the Torah Explorer, will get you one if you need one so that we can all follow along with our service this evening. I'd like to welcome back to the Bima Adam Kohen. He teaches music in the religious school, and he is going to be our cantorial soloist this evening as well. So welcome back, Adam. And our service begins on page 4 of our siddur with the lighting of our Shabbat candles. The blessing is found on page 4, and it is preceded by an opening reading. Oh, you've come too? Oh, excellent. So come stand behind the candles. And you have your own copy of the reading. Excellent. So for the honor of lighting our Shabbat candles, we call upon Rachel Kugelmass and David Levin.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us, as their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we in our own day be among those who kindle light.
Well, as I mentioned, Adam teaches music to our religious school students. His last lesson with them was in 2022, but they have great memories and wonderful musical talent, and because I quizzed them last Wednesday, and they all remembered the song, and if they didn't remember it, they pretended to remember it until they remembered it. And so I'd like to invite up all the members of our religious school who know which song I'm talking about, the camp-style Oseh Shalom, to come and stand up here at the campus podium with Adam. Really, there were more people here on Wednesday. Here they come. We think we just need a minute. All right. So Oseh Shalom, of course, is a prayer that asks God for peace. It is such a wonderful and beloved song in our tradition that we're going to hear two different versions of it at this very service. And the first one is the one that Adam has taught to our religious school students.
Oseh Shalom bimroma, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Oseh Shalom bimroma, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Oseh Shalom bimroma, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Ya'aseh shalom. Ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'achol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'achol Yisrael. Oseh shalom bimroma, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Oseh shalom bimroma, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Oseh shalom bimroma, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'achol Yisrael. Ya'aseh shalom, ya'aseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'achol Yisrael.
Thank you to our religious school students and to Adam. And you can return to your seats in the congregation. The first prayer of our service is on page 22. It is a prayer, but it's also a signal that it's time to pray. It is an announcement, but it brings out the ability to pray in all of us. So please turn to page 22 and rise if you are able for the Baruch Hu. We turn on page 29. One of the prayers that we offer in our service is a prayer that thanks God for showing us God's love. And the number one symbol of God's love is the Torah. And so this is a statement about how wonderful the Torah is because it is a reflection of God's love. Please read with me in English. God, you gave us the Torah to show that you love us. May it always be a friend at our side. The Torah is our teacher. It tells us what is right and what is wrong. It shows us how to live good lives. Be with us always when we study Torah. Be with us always as we try to live good lives. We praise you, eternal God, who gave the Jewish people the Torah. It is your special gift to us. It is the gift of your love. Baruch atah Adonai Ohev Amo Yisrael. We turn now a few pages to the pages 34 and 35. They don't have page numbers, but you'll know it because they're yellow, and they have a large blue shin in the middle, and most importantly, they have the words of the Shema. Please join us in a Shema.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Hashem Kivod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. Baruch Hashem Kivod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad.
Please be seated. We continue with Ve'ahavta on page 36.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם להיות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני Adonai Elohechem, Asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim, lihiot lachem Elohim, Ani Adonai Elohechem.
We continue now on page 38. Page 38 has Micha Mocha. Micha Mocha is a song of joy. It is a song that talks about God's wonderful power. It is a song that talks about the miracles that have affected our people. And it is a song about freedom. It's all wrapped up in one song, a quote from the Bible no less, and we find it on page 38. Please join as we sing Micha Mocha. We turn now to page 43 in our Siddur, where we offer an English interpretation of the Hashkivenu, the special prayer that we offer that asks God's protection as we prepare to go to sleep. Not during the service, after the service. Please read with me. You are with us at all times, God, when we sleep and when we wake. When it is dark, we turn to you for light. When we are afraid, we turn to you for courage. When we feel weak, we turn to you for strength. Be with us tonight and always. Help us to know you are there. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim. We continue now with the Tefillah. The Tefillah is found in the Siddur on page 98. Please rise if you are able for the Tefillah.
Anananananana Adonai, Anananananana Sfatai Tiftach, Ananananana Ufi Agid Tehilatecha, Anananananana Adonai, Ananananana Sfatai Tiftach, Ananananana Ufi Agid Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'koneh HaKol, V'zocher Hasdei Avot V'imahot, Umevi Gula Lifnei B'neihem, Leman Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshiach U'Magen, Baruch Atah Adonai, Magen Abraham Ve'ezrat Sarah.
We remain standing as we turn to page 103. Please read with me in English. O God, as we remember all you do, we make this promise to try to be like you. We will work to raise up those who fall, heal those who are sick, free those who are in need. As your partners, we will support the poor, feed the hungry, house the homeless, befriend the lonely, and give hope to all people. We will be caring Jews. As you have helped us live better lives, we shall help others. We praise you, O God, who gives meaning to our lives. Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh HaKol. Blessed are you, Adonai, who gives life to everything. We turn the page and read together on 105. What is holiness? Rab Nachman taught that we reach out in three directions: up to God, out to other people, and into our own hearts. The secret is that all three directions are truly the same. When I reach out to another person, I find myself and God. When I find God, I find others and the true me. When I find myself, I reach God and other people. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. Please be seated. We continue now with a prayer for peace, which is found in the Siddur on page 115. We pray for peace. Peace for everyone, everywhere. Peace for soldiers fighting wars. Peace for people who live where soldiers are fighting around them. Peace for parents who are worried about their children. Peace for children who are worried about their parents. Peace for people who are struggling with others. Peace for people who are struggling with themselves. We praise you, eternal God. You help us make peace, and you help us find peace. Baruch atah Adonai, hamvarech et amo Yisrael, ba'shalom. Blessed are you, Adonai, who blesses your people Israel with peace. We take a moment now for Tfilat Halev, silent prayer. Inspirational readings are found on pages 116 and 117. It is my pleasure at this time to invite to the bima the sweet singers of Eitz Chaim, our junior choir, under the direction of Thomas Stachio, and they have prepared two songs for us, which I will tell you about once I straighten out the microphone here. Okay, so in their Wednesday rehearsals, Eitz Chaim has been preparing 2 songs to offer for us this evening. The first song is Oseh Shalom. Oseh Shalom is one of the songs we frequently conclude our time of silence with, and so I thought that of the 2, this would make sense to go first. Yes, no babies near the technology. And so you've already heard the words of Oseh Shalom once at this service, but this is a different melody, and I think you will really enjoy the way that Eitz Chaim presents it. So the first song is Oseh Shalom. That was beautiful. Thank you, Eitz Chaim. They've prepared a second song for us, and that is Hashkivenu. We actually already read an interpretation of the Hashkivenu. This is the prayer that we did a couple of moments ago that asks for God's special protection at nighttime. So we did an English interpretation, but now we'll hear Eitz Chaim's interpretation of the Hashkivenu.
Spread the shelter of your peace over
Thank you, and Yasher Koach to Eitz Chaim. That was wonderful. You may return to your seats. And Eitz Chaim has sounded terrific under the direction of Thomas Daschio, but I think he and I are both looking forward to the return of Cantor Tillum. She'll be back by next month's family service. Her sabbatical is coming to an end, and we're all looking forward to having her back. But nice job, Tom, for the last 3 months or so. Round of applause for Tom. Nobody's ever applauded that much for me. Now I'm going to be accused of asking for it. Okay. We continue our service now with our Torah service, which is found in Mishkan Tefillah for Youth, beginning on page 121. Okay. This is our Torah. Its words are the same ones that our parents and grandparents read. In all times and places, its words never change. May our children and grandchildren and their children and grandchildren read its words as well. In this scroll is everything that has made the Jewish people special from Mount Sinai until today. Torah teaches us love and justice, goodness and hope and freedom. Please rise if you are able as we take the Torah from the Lord.
Ki mitzion tetzei Torah, ki mitzion tetzei Torah, udevar Adonai mirushalayim, Baruch shenatan Torah, Torah, Baruch shenatan Torah, Torah, Le'amo Yisrael, B'kedushato. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Gadlu Adonai iti, uneromema shemo yachtav. Al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim ha'olam omer, al shlosha devarim ha'olam omer, al ha'torah ve'al ha'odah ve'al gemilut chasadim, al ha'torah ve'al ha'odah ve'al gemilut chasadim, al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim ha'olam omer, al shlosha devarim ha'olam omer.
This week's Torah portion is Parashat Vayechi. And Vayechi means he lived. But actually, it's talking about Jacob, and Jacob is very old, so old that he thinks that he's not going to live much longer. And Jacob, believing that he has one or two more messages to give while he's still alive, calls his son Joseph to his side, and he gives him message number one. Okay, I'll tell you what message number two is, because I'm not going to read that part out loud. And then I'll tell you message number one, which is what you're going to hear from the Torah tonight. Message number two is, every one of my children is special, and every one of my children gets a blessing. And in fact, two of my grandchildren are so special that they're like my children, and they get a blessing. And so there is filled with blessing because Jacob has this much to say while he's still alive. But the first message is that Jacob is living in a foreign country. Jacob is from the land of Israel, which in the time of the Torah they called the land of Canaan. And he's living not in Canaan, but in Egypt. And his first message to Joseph is, I'm going to die in Egypt, but I want to be buried in Canaan. I want to be buried in the same place that my father is buried and my grandfather is buried. And so you have to promise me that you will do this for me, and you'll make sure that I'm buried in this place in the land that I really am from. And so Joseph makes that promise, and later in the Torah portion we find that Joseph keeps the promise, because it's very important to keep the promises that you make. And so both of Jacob's messages, the one of where he wants to be buried, and the one of giving a special blessing to each of his children, we read about it in this week's Torah portion. So I'm going to read from the beginning. If you're sitting here in the sanctuary, the beginning of the Torah portion is Genesis chapter 47, verse 28. And you can find that on page 302 of the blue Torah commentary books here in the sanctuary. And if you are watching us on live stream and you happen to have a copy of the revised Torah commentary at home, you can find this same portion, beginning of Parshat Vayechi, on page 306. Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Leolam Va'ed.
Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai noten ha'Torah.
Amen. Amen. Vayechi Yaakov be'eretz Mitzrayim Shvat Esrei Shana. Vayehi Yemei Yaakov Shnei Chayav Sheva Shanim Va'arba'im U'ma'at Shana. Vayikrevu Yemei Yisrael Lamut Vayikra Livno Liosef. Vayomer lo Imna Matzati Chen Be'einecha Simnat Yadcha Tachat Yerechim, Ve'asita imadi chesed ve'emet, al na tikbareni b'mitzrayim, Ve'shachavti im avotai, Ve'nasatani mimitzrayim, Ve'keravtani bikvuratam, Vayomer Anochi e'eseh chidvarecha, Vayomer Hishava li vayishava lo vayishtachu Yisrael al rosh hamita.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu torat emet v'kayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'Torah.
Amen. This time our thoughts turn to those in need of healing as we prepare to offer a mishaberach for healing. If you're thinking of someone in need of healing and you are watching us on live stream, you can enter the name of your loved one in the chat or comment section of the live stream platform. And if you're here in the sanctuary and you're thinking of someone in need of healing, I invite you to share the name of your loved one out loud or in your heart. As a congregation, we think of our temple members and their loved ones in need of healing. Their names will be shown, it already started. Their names will be shown as we join together on page 125 in the Mishaberach.
Mishaberach Avoteinu Mikor HaBracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mikor habracha le'avoteinu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
We continue now with the lifting and dressing of the Torah. Please rise if you are able for Hagba and Galila.
וזאת התורה ששם משה לפני בני ישראל על פי אדוני ביד משה. Shalom, 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 shalom. It is a tree of life to those that hold fast to. All of its supporters are happy. It is a tree of life to those that hold fast to. All of its supporters are happy. Shalom, 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 shalom.
Please be seated. Unless you have a birthday in the month of January, in which case you should be up on the bima. Come on up right now because it is time for our January. Statistically speaking, 8% of the congregation should have a birthday at any given month, except February. That's 7.875%. Nobody has a January birthday. Well, I'm going to assume that there's someone out there in the land of live stream that has a January birthday. Really, nobody? All right. So, no, but what I was going to say is I'm sure someone out in the world of live stream has a birthday, and so I will enjoy a charity in your honor. And in honor of all the 8% of the world's population celebrating a January birthday, please join with Adam and Tom as we sing first in Hebrew and then in English.
Huledet Sameach, Yom Huledet Sameach, Yom Huledet Sameach, Yom Huledet Sameach. Happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday to everybody.
January.
Happy birthday to you.
Okay. I'm going to share a story now, and if you'd like to sit on the floor in front of the steps so you can see the pictures, the illustrations of our story, you may. Come on up. Okay, well, it is winter, and winter means snow. Not here, not yet, but if you've watched TV anytime in the last, 3 weeks, you've seen the world is getting a lot of snow. And we don't really associate snow with the land of Israel. I will tell you, Tel Aviv, Israel's biggest city, doesn't really get any snow. And Eilat, which is Israel's southernmost city, doesn't get any snow. But up in the hills, in the capital of Jerusalem, they do get snow every once in a while. Maybe only one day a year, but usually one day every winter there is snow. And so this book is called Snow in Jerusalem. In the walled old city of Jerusalem, which some call the center of the universe, Avi waited. He sat on the stone front step of his family's apartment. The silver mezuzah in the doorframe above him sparkled in the sunlight. Then he saw her, the small plump cat with long white fur. "Shalom, hello, little cat," he said softly. "I have some warm chicken for you." The cat purred as she ate. Then she rubbed against Avi's legs. "Avi, my love, are you feeding that cat again?" his mother teased from the kitchen window. "We'll never get rid of it now." But Avi loved this fluffy white cat. "There is no other cat like you in all of Jerusalem," Avi whispered. "You are a miracle, a gift from Hashem, from the Holy One." The cat gazed at Avi with big eyes, clear and blue as the sea. "Meow," she said. Then she padded hastily down the wind-chilled street and watched, wondering where she was going. Suddenly he had an idea. "Cat," Avi called. "Next time I will follow you." So there's Avi with his cat. I'm not sure it's actually his. Do you get the sense that it's his? Or like a neighborhood cat? He didn't call the cat by a name. The cat moved through the winding streets of the Jewish quarter. She ducked into shaded, cobbled alleyways and pranced through sunlit courtyards fragrant with the sweet smell of rosemary. Soon she reached the hustle and bustle of the Muslim quarter. Here the narrow streets were filled with shining brass pots, colorful plates, and tapestries the color of fire. Hamoudi waited outside his family's small restaurant as the cat headed toward him. "Ah, there you are, little white one. Izaik, how are you?" Hamoudi asked gently. He put down a plate of lamb and a bowl of water. The cat purred as she ate and drank. Then she rubbed against Hamoudi's legs. "Hamoudi, my darling, are you feeding the cat again?" his mother teased him from the open doorway. "It will never leave us now." Did you notice that the boys have something in common? What do they have in common? They both like the cat. Well, who knows if they like more than one cat. They both like this cat, and they both have moms that are teasing them about liking the cat. But Hamoudi loved the silky white cat. "There is no other cat like you in all of Jerusalem," he whispered. "I know you must be a miracle, a gift from Allah." "Meow," the cat said. Then she padded off through the crowded streets. Hamoudi watched, wondering where she was going. Suddenly he had an idea. "Cat," he called, "next time I will follow you." But the next time did not come. In the Jewish quarter, Avi waited for many days. The cat was nowhere to be seen. There were many other cats, skinny cats with wild, hopeless eyes. They darted in and out of alleys and climbed on garbage bags, but not one of them was the beautiful white cat. Avi worried. And in the Muslim quarter, Hamoudi waited too. Each day he prepared the cat's favorite dish of lamb leftovers, but there was no sign of her. There were many other cats, big ones and small ones, all had bony ribs and patchy fur. Not one of them was the beautiful white cat. Hamoudi worried. It was many weeks later that the white cat appeared on Avi's doorstep. "What happened to you, cat?" Avi cried. "You look so skinny, and you look dirty, too." He ran into the kitchen. Then he rushed outside and put fish and a big bowl of water at the little cat's feet. She ate and drank heartily and purred. But this time, when the cat started on her way, Avi followed her. He chased her through the shaded alleys and carved archways of the Jewish quarter. He followed her all the way into the Muslim quarter. There, the cat padded right up to a small restaurant. As Avi watched in amazement, she jumped into the lap of a boy who fed her something from his hand. So Avi was following the cat, and he followed the cat right to see that she was with Hamudi. Avi frowned. "That's my cat," he shouted. "It's not," Hamudi yelled back. "She's my cat." The cat jumped out of Hamudi's lap and began running down the street. "Now see what you've done," Hamudi accused. "Now see what you've done," Avi answered back. But just then, something unusual happened. It began to snow in Jerusalem. Snowflakes floated gently through the air, swirling and twirling on their way to the earth. The cat stopped for a moment and sat in the feathery whiteness. She sniffed at the crisp, cold air. "My cat is getting all wet," Hamudi said. "You mean my cat is getting wet? She could freeze in this weather," Avi added. Hamudi remembered how thin and scraggly the cat had seemed when she was in his lap. "We'd better help her then," he said firmly. So do you notice the boys have a lot in common, but they don't have everything in common. Do you notice the difference between them in the illustrations? So Avi, you can tell partly by his name and partly by the fact he's wearing a kippah, is Jewish. And Hamudi, you can tell partly by his name and partly by, I thought that was a scarf at first, but partly by his name and partly by the fact that he lives in the Muslim quarter, is Arab. And so they're neighbors, they live in the same city, they have something very important, they love the same cat, but they're arguing. The boys ran together, but the cat rounded the corner and disappeared into the streets of the Christian quarter. They tried to follow her paw tracks, but the spinning snow erased them faster than they could be found. Side by side, the two boys continued through the streets into the Armenian quarter, catching glimpses of white fur through gusts of snow. "What if she's in a big hole somewhere, already half frozen?" Hamudi asked. "Then we will warm her with our coats," Avi said. But fear, like a dark cloud, began to follow them through the cold streets. "Chatul, cat," Avi sobbed in Hebrew. "Chatul, chatul." "Ota, cat," Hamudi cried out in Arabic. "Ota, ota," there they are, shouting in the two languages of the old city of Jerusalem, but they can't find the cat. The boys searched through street after street. Finally, they heard a faint sound like the muffled whine of the wind. They stopped and stepped closer to a darkened alley. Hearing the sound again, Avi and Hamudi began to run, slipping and sliding on the snow-covered street. The cries were coming from some bags and cardboard cartons. The boys pushed them aside until they came to one small box. Curled inside was the white cat. She was not half frozen, and she was not alone. Who do you think was in the box with her? What do you think, Mia? A different cat? One different cat? Let's find out. "It's a miracle," Avi said with a smile. "She has kittens. 4 of them." "Truly a miracle," Hamudi agreed, kneeling down to peer in the box. Avi laughed. "No wonder the mama got so skinny." Hamudi nodded as he rubbed the fuzzy velvet tummy of one kitten. "What will we do with all these cats?" Avi asked. "It's too dangerous for them to live outside in a box. They could freeze or be killed by mean dogs or bad people." Hamudi thought about all the stray cats of Jerusalem with bony ribs and patchy fur. "We cannot just let them live on the streets. Then we must take them home," Avi told him. "Yes, Hamudi, there's plenty of room at my house for 5 cats. "No, no, no," Avi said quickly. "I saw the mother first, so I get to take them home." Hamudi scowled. Silence crackled in the air between them. Then Hamudi said sharply, "How do I know you saw the mother cat first? You can't prove it. Neither can you," Avi snapped back. Leaving her kittens, the cat padded over to the spot where the boys stood arguing. She began to purr loudly and rub against the legs of each boy. Her tracks made a figure 8 around them in the snow. Avi bit his lip and looked away. "She does not want us to fight," he said slowly. Hamudi stared down at his feet. "She wants peace." "Then we will share," Avi said. Hamudi smiled. So the boys rummaged through the bags and cartons until they found 2 boxes that were just the right size. They put 2 kittens in each box. "Who will get the mother cat?" Avi asked. I think she wants us to share her too, Hamudi said with a grin. Yes, Avi agreed. She can travel back and forth between us, the way she did before. Then the two boys headed back to their homes in the old city of Jerusalem, the place some call the center of the universe. With great care, each boy carried 2 kittens in a small box. They were followed proudly by a blue-eyed white cat that they named Snow. And there she is, the white cat following them. So if you note at the very end of the story that the cat's name is Snow, it gives new meaning to the title, Snow in Jerusalem. And that is, I dedicate this story to Colleen Hecht, as I do all stories about cats and even some about dogs. So thank you for listening, and you can return to your seats as we continue our service. Our service continues at this time with the Aleinu. The Aleinu is found in your Siddur on page 130. Please rise if you are able for the Aleinu.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים, לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו echad.
We remain standing for a reading to introduce the Mourner's Kaddish, found on page 132. There are stars up above so far away, we only see their light long, long after the star itself is gone. And so it is with people that we love. Their memories keep shining ever brightly, though their time with us is done. But the stars that light up the darkest night, these are the lights that guide us. As we live our days, these are the ways we remember. This Shabbat, we remember those for whom we are in the Shloshim 30-day period of mourning. Eva Ben-Ami, friend of Rachel Kukumas and David Levin. Michael Parson, friend of Elise Balzer. Jerry Wolf, friend of Ruth and Peter Adler. Evelyn Kaufman, friend of Ida Jean Fisher. And Bill Weiss, member of Temple Emeth, husband and friend of Weiss. We remember as well those whose yard sites occurred this week. Merwin S. Abrams, William Abrams, Theodore Abramson, Rhoda Bias, Lottie Brownstein, Beverly Buckwalter, Julia Chalfin, Ryan Dillon, Molly Friedman, Jenny Giaquinto, Bertha Gordon, Rose Haberman, Sabine Hertz, Murray Isaacs, Harry Cantor, Stanley A. Kitzinger, Michael Kozaradsky, Lenore Kriegsman, Laura Lee, Dorothy Marks, Marilyn Newman, Abraham Pilchik, Dorothy Rosenfeld, Howard Schlechtman, Edith S. Springer, Ida Stern, Isaac Sugarman, Michael Thayer, Baruch Zuckerman, Gabriel Weingarten, Thelma Weiss, Harriet Wilson, and Mark Windell. And we remember the names of 6 of the 6 million who perished in the Holocaust: Edith Buchsbaum, Vilmos Buchsbaum, Bronislav Burakovsky, Maria Burdo, Noich Burstein, and Arka Bittman. We remember them all. We take them into our hearts with our own as we turn now to page 134 and we join together in the Mourner's Kaddish. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divrach yutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayecho beit Yisrael, v'agalau v'yizman kariv imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam v'olmei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shemei kudshah b'richu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran be'oma v'yimru amen Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen Oseh shalom b'mrumav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen May the source of peace and peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved. And let us say, Amen. Please be seated. It is my pleasure at this time to call upon Stacy Butler, a member of our Board of Trustees, to offer Shabbat greetings and announcements. In honor of all the lives.
Exactly. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
Thank you so much, Chaim. That was beautiful. Thank you. So, Shabbat Shalom. On behalf of the Board of Trustees, it is my pleasure to welcome you to our family Shabbat service. This Sunday, January 8th, we'll host the latest installment of Sunday Fun Days. Bring your favorite preschooler, age 5 or younger, for this morning of music, crafts, songs, stories, and a snack. Please arrive by 9:30 a.m. for this one-hour program. Additional information is available in the lobby. Join us for services on Martin Luther King weekend on Friday, January 13th at 8 p.m. Minister Kerwin Webb of the Red Bank NAACP and the New Jersey Social Justice Remembrance Coalition will be our guest speaker. Reverend Webb will speak on examining Dr. King, his dream, and what it means for us in 2023. Additionally, Temple Emeth is proud to host the 2023 Bergen County Martin Luther King birthday celebration on Monday, January 16th at 6 p.m. We hope you'll attend this festive community event in person or on live stream. On Sunday, January 22nd, our very own pop culture historian, David Levin, will discuss Jews and comic books at a B'Yachad breakfast. David has produced and directed documentaries on pop culture for MTV, Discovery, A&E, and other networks. Registration is $7 per person and is due by Sunday, January 15th. This morning program will start at 9 a.m. Finally, the Temple Emeth Purim Committee is already preparing special Shalach Mana packages for Purim this year. Baskets are $5 and can be sent to Temple Emeth families and staff. Information is available in the lobby, on our website, and in the January bulletin, which is available online. Thank you also to this evening's volunteers in the live stream control room. Pauline Hecht and Barbara Balkin are at the controls tonight. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. And I want to thank Adam Cohane for leading us in the cantorial music this evening, and Tom Mustachio for the happy birthday and for the wonderful Eitz Chaim songs. And thank you to all of you for coming. Go ahead and step right into the middle of the bima. We conclude at this time with the Kiddush and the Motzi. And so I want to invite up all the children to the bima to come get a cup of grape juice and a piece of challah. And I want to invite our honorees up to lead us in Kiddush. The Kiddush is found in Mishkan Tefillah for youth on page 6. Please rise if you are able for the Kiddush.
Like wine, Shabbat is sweet. We lift this cup to celebrate the love of family and the joy of living. We sing the Kiddush and taste the wine to remind us that Shabbat is a day of sweetness and love.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kishanu b'mitzvotav v'ratza banu, v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu, zikaron le'maaseh b'reishit, ki hu yom techila le'mikrae kodesh, זכר לציאת מצרים, כי בנו בחרת, ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים, ושבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת. אמן.
And we join together in the Motzi.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
One last announcement to everybody here in the sanctuary. This is our first family service since we put up our 75th anniversary museum display. So before you leave the building tonight, be sure to stop in the museum. It's halfway down the hallway on the right, and check out the wonderful museum display that Barbara Balkin set up for all of us to enjoy. If you've been watching us on live stream, we're at the end of the service. It's your last chance to